The Reform Era by Kate Colson, Zach Pullen, and Heather Vormstein-Schneider. Can average citizens change society? The Seneca Falls Convention was a perfect example of this. The Seneca Falls Convention started spontaneously on a street corner and was 8 years in the making. It started from a mutual friend who decided to start the meeting once conversations commenced. This convention made a declaration of sentiments and resolutions, that all men and women were created equal and both should have the right to vote. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was a leader of the women's rights movement, who was an ordinary housewife, and Susan B. Anthony, who was a teacher, led the convention. The temperance movement was the first movement to rid the country of alcohol in order to cleanse the nation of sin. The movement was led by ordinary women who wanted men upheld to the same social standards as they were. Benevolent societies were made up of churchgoers who wanted to reform society. These societies were first started to expand religious beliefs, and then they soon became a way of spreading social reform as well. The Transcendentalism movement was based on the belief that one must look inside themselves to cleanse the soul. Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau were both authors who made this philosophy popular.
Other groups that were ordinary citizens that changed society were the Shakers, the Quakers, and the Mormons. The Shakers were a group of ordinary people that came together to make utopias for a perfect society. The Quakers were a religious group that did not support the violence of war. The Mormons were a religious group who understood the leadership of the apostles. Joseph Smith and Brigham Young were both preachers who influenced the Mormon religion. Smith published the Book of Mormon, which is their Bible, and Young headed the Mormon Church and founded a Mormon colony in Utah.
The education reform movement was a great example of ordinary people influencing society. Horace Mann, a Board of Education member, made public education available to all citizens. Calvin Wiley was a superintendent that standardized textbooks and created certification standards for teachers. Catherine Beecher founded a girls' school, and Emma Willard also founded a girls' school, although it was for the wealthy families. Mary Lyon founded the first women's university.
How did reforms of this era increase the tensions between the North and South? One of the main issues which caused tensions between the regions was slavery. People in the North supported abolition and emancipation, while the South favored the current system. David Walker, William Lloyd Garrison, and Theodore Weld were all abolitionists, although their methods differed. Garrison, who wrote The Liberator, did not support gradualism. The South depended greatly on slaves. Many Northerners were abolitionists who supported emancipation, and Southerners were mostly plantation owners, thus they were in need of slaves. This caused disputes between the North and South, and the South thought the North was trying to steal their livelihood. This furthered the rift between the North and South.
Harper's Weekly was a newspaper published from 1857 to 1916, which had unique coverage of the Civil War. The newspaper expressed racist views of the nation, furthering the rift between the regions.
Women's rights was another reform that increased the tension between North and South. The South had a more traditional view on the issue, favoring keeping women as homemakers rather than involved in politics, while the North had a more radical view as it allowed for women to be equals.
That's it. It's still going, but we can edit the last part out.